Hello and welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. I'd like to start again with the Gayatri Mantra. If you know it, you can do it along with me. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. As we await our first guests to arrive, do allow me the honor of setting the intention for this space as being one in which we can confide in each other's experiences, uplift each other through them, share positive sentiments, regardless of the differences that we may experience on the surface. I believe that even our diversity speaks to a unity at heart. Hello, dear Don Suela. You made it for the very beginning today. Yes, you did. Hello. And hello, Salty. Thank you for blessing us so early on with a heart me and a quartet of team bracelets too. Ariom Tatsat. That's very kind of you. Starlight, starting us off with our first question. Do I love Jesus? Of course. Love Jesus very much. I love all the forms of the divine from different religions around the world. I think they all have something unique to offer and represent a unified truth. And hello, the present 1111. Welcome. Hello, the divine feminine. Nice to have you here. I'm very delighted to have another Sangha today. It's my treat to be able to be in service in any way in which I can extend a virtue that I'm trying to develop myself, like compassion, like understanding, patience. This is a great possibility for me, and I thank you for your presence. Billy, you share, and hello, that you're walking in nature and thought you'd bring me and all of us along. I love that. I feel the presence of nature coming from you. And hello, Strawberry Star Bunny. Welcome. And hello, dear Pesto. You can resonate with that universal message, Salty. I'm happy to hear that. Hello, Mel. Namaste, Inevitable. Good evening, Strawberry. Alright, I'd like to open up the question of the day today. Today I'm wondering from you all, what is something that we hope to give back to this world in this life? For me, this is an important question. I feel as though, as we have come here to experience this human life on earth, that giving is such an important part. Everything that we have to receive from the world, we have to give back at some day. So giving seems to be the biggest lesson when it comes to this human experience, in terms of this experience having a flow of energy from us to the world. Born by lightning, you share empathy and love because you never had enough. And by sharing, you inadvertently give yourself enough too, by recognizing that you had enough within you all along. We just need a place to put that. And thank you for your pair of roses that you sent too. Ariom Tatsat. And Giuliano, thank you for your specialty of a rose and a cloud bread, a GG and an ice cream cone. Ariom Tatsat. Thank you, Gule, for your rose too. Namaste. Billy, you share, awareness, and understanding. So aptly put. I concur. Billy, you share, for you it's so lovely out because it rained earlier. Oh, I think it's the same kind of atmosphere here as well. I love that smell of the soil after the rain brings it out. Petrichor, I believe it's called. Mel, you're hoping we can give health back to this world. I like that. It's good to have a healthy world. In the present 1111, you share that we hope to give back kindness, as you were never kind enough. We can always be more kind. And looking back on our past, we might see that we have a more capacity to be kind today than we did earlier. But that means growth, and that's a good thing. Lakonan, you're here with the comedic relief again. You share your annoying toenail that gets stuck in your sock when putting it on. Yeah, give that back to the world. I don't want that. Don Suela, you hope to give love and compassion to the world around you. It's so important. I like that a lot. Strawberry Star Bunny, you share healing and showing others how to live in joy and what that looks like. Set the precedent for that. Beautiful. Flo, you share very passionately a better future reality where humans live in balance with Earth. I like that a lot. Thank you, Tatvamasi, for your 5 roses, 1 for each of the 5 elements. Jai Nisargadatta Maharaj. Salty, you share abundance. That's a great answer. I love that word. Inevitable, you share knowledge once you have it. Oh, I'm sure you do already have lots of knowledge, inevitable. And there's always more to understand. Lakonan, you add understanding for others too. That's almost as good as a toenail. Thank you for finding good qualities in me, Zana Rose. Or just Mama Zana. Om Namah Shivaya, Kalkiji, welcome. And hello, Delaney. Happy Janmashtami. Thank you, user 841. Yes, it is a day in which we celebrate the birthday of Sri Krishna Bhagwan, a form of the divine who is said to have walked our earth 5,160 years ago. Beautiful day. Really, you share a lyric from a song. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? I think it's pretty funny. But not in a funny, weird way. In a funny, blissful way, you know? When you have an overflow of bliss, it turns into joy and laughter. And hello, Jill. Dubia Art, you share that you're struggling with anger in your life. It's absolutely debilitating. And you're hoping to see positive more. Well, you're on the right track, being able to acknowledge something that has room for more positivity. That's half the battle there, right there. Anger can be a wonderful thing if you use it very sparingly, only to support perhaps the voices of the vulnerable, to set boundaries for those who might not be able to, like a mother. A mother may raise her voice for the protection of her children, and in that regard it can be seen as a trait of the divine feminine. When we use it to cross other people's boundaries, which is something you can use anger for, because anything that has the power to support boundaries also has the power to deconstruct boundaries. So it can be a double-edged sword that while supporting our own boundaries or those who depend upon us, we don't go too far with it and end up crossing the boundaries of others too. Remember that it's not the anger itself which is damaging, it's how you react to your own anger, what you choose to do with it. And if while angry, you can still maintain virtues like compassion, empathy, and patience, then we don't have to worry about trying to get rid of our emotions. Just use them in a more healthy way. You share that you believed you started using anger for the right reasons, but you find now it's your first choice. Yeah. We don't have to reach for the most powerful tool in our arsenal. It's good to have it, but we should practice reaching for other tools first. It is a beautiful and auspicious day, dear Don Suela. No wonder you woke up chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya this morning. I love that. I love seeing Devanagari. Thank you, dear Michelle, for your quintet of cloud breads too, that you sent a cake, a tiny, yippee, and some popcorn, lots of carbs. Thank you, and I believe you answered the question of the day too, which is love. And I love that answer. Thank you, Jill, for that finger heart too a minute ago. Radhe, Radhe. And John Simon, thank you for your heart, me too. Here. I think it's a good time to pause our question of the day since we've explored some excellent answers. I think it's so vital that we give something to this world, since it is the perfect recipient to receive what's possible from us. Jinx, you shared that your dog is falling asleep listening to me. That's such a beautiful comment. Thank you for sharing that. I'll try not to bark. Very interesting, dear Benjamin. Well, I do have a lot of blue around me, so maybe that's adding to my blue energy. I do have a light with blue in it. It's more magenta and a blue background. Delini, you asked what my advice is on getting your spirituality back if you feel you lost it. You're just feeling very lost right now. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's the best time to be spiritual, because you're a spiritual seeker, aren't you? Not a spiritual finder. You're still looking. You're still searching. And that's the spiritual quest. It's a quest of being open to something new. Not feeling like you've got everything together. That's for worldly people. Us spiritual folks will never have it together, and that's the greatest blessing. Because life is about beginnings. It's about getting lost in the mystery. It's about feeling like there's always something more to discover. So if you're feeling lost, that's actually a beautiful spiritual feeling itself. Official Rebecca, you ask what helped me the most during my spiritual journey. Every day I am discovering something new to aid my journey. I find that the biggest help comes when I least expect it. When I've given up all hope and I just flop on the ground. Maybe I sit beneath a tree or just grab the grass. Or maybe I look up into the sky and I cry and I sing to the stars and the moon. I guess you could say vulnerability is a sentiment. Being vulnerable, the universe turns itself into a mother for you, rearranges itself, and suddenly the cosmic mother is consoling you from the inside. And maybe you cry yourself to sleep, but you wake up in peace, and something deep has been sorted out in your subconscious. That's right, Billy. For Jinx's puppy, I shouldn't say trigger words. Like TREATWALKRIDE. Although some dogs learn how to spell. They recognize even the letters and they go, huh? I recognize that. Michelle, you share that you collapsed to the ground crying a few times in the beginning of your spiritual journey. Me too, and I still do that. Probably every few months. I think it's important. A little checkup with the earth. No, I hope to always have that as something that I can do. Shirley J, you share that spirituality seems so for everyone. Was there a word supposed to be between so and for? So what? Oops, you forgot a word. You did. It seems so for everyone. I actually like that. Spirituality is something we all get to participate in. You were going to say different. Well, of course. Spirituality means in reference to spirit, the subject. That's about as opposed to an objective experience that you can have. Spirituality means to uncover what exists within your slice of life, to discover what is universal amidst the diversity of our experiences. Absolutely. And Shirley, you added to that what my personal spiritual beliefs are. I don't think I have spiritual beliefs. Well, let me put it like this. I don't think I have beliefs. I just never think about it. I never recite my core values because I'm always open to something new, open to being proven wrong. I just have experiences of life, and in this moment, I don't know what to make of it. I'm just happy to be here. That's all. I think people have different ways of phrasing their experiences, but that doesn't mean that there are different truths. Perhaps there is one truth that we all get to express uniquely, because we're all unique expressions of that one truth ourselves. That's what I feel. Anyway, thank you, John F., for your heart me tool, your friendship necklace, your finger heart, and your tiny. Yahoo! Hello, dear Macy. You share that your throat hurts from screaming. One of those days, huh? Yeah. Of course you may ask a question, dear Brandon. Don Suela, you share that there's an interesting thing that occurs where at times you'll just unravel before an epiphany happens. I think Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to have a saying about that. That in order to see the reflection of the sun in the pond, we have to first part the algae on the surface. In the same way, the song of revelation is always occurring within our hearts, but we have it covered with so many layers that we've accumulated throughout our life. It needs to unravel. It needs to blossom like a flower for us to see the light within. Some things are heavy, but you're observing it and moving through it easier through the spiritual path. Life can be very heavy at times. It's a magnificent universe. Its story is very deep. I'm happy you found beauty in that, dear Shirley. Brandon, your question is, why, when you are at your lowest, you feel like it's comforting, but when you feel good, you kind of feel over the top. Feels like you're bipolar or something, you have no middle ground. Sure can be heavy. You almost lost your house. I'm certainly not qualified to diagnose bipolar, but you are not alone in having these vast ranges of emotion. If anything, that points to the fact that you have a very deep experience of life compared to a shallow experience where the differences between your highs and lows are so little. I think those that feel the most pain also are the most empathetic, the most sensitive. And such beings often are the most vulnerable to substance use because it masks that sensitivity itself. We live in a society that's very intoxicated, not just through substance use, but in our social customs. We've dulled our senses through all of our ways of being in this Western modern world, that our range of experience is often something stigmatized. That one day we can feel like we are at the bottom of the world, and the next we can feel like we're at the top. And I think that's life. In many ways, it won't always be like that. As we get older, I know that our feelings kind of mellow out and steady. But especially when we're young, oh my goodness, we are so emotional beings. Anyway, it's absolutely natural to feel such a range of emotion. And the less we can stigmatize it, the more we can understand the beauty of such an expression. I think we can allow ourselves to feel that way too. And I trust you will find your middle ground as well. We always will. But you're right, it can be a very blissful experience to kind of surrender when we are feeling at our lowest, only looking up. That's why it's said that the greatest virtue to harbor on the spiritual path is humility. Because humility always invites the most grace. It hollows us out to be able to receive that spaciousness. If we always feel like we can do better in an inspiring way, then we always continue looking up at what's possible. We take refuge in the fact that from now unto eternity, we are in our most latent state, our most potential state. And I think that can be very motivating. Thank you, M.A., if I pronounce your name that way, for your heart me. A pair of tiny tinies too. Yippee! Oh, if we learned yoga and meditation in school, that'd be awesome, Flo. I love that. I think it would be so healthy if we had a class on emotions, just a class on how to deal with sadness or anger or anxiety. That'd be wonderful. You're very welcome, dear Dansuela. It is very unbalanced energy though, Flo. I concur. However, how can we expect to find our balance if we don't fall a few 100,000 million times? Every time we fall, the direction in which we fall, if we just turn that arrow from tip to tail, it also tells us from what direction we need to return to find balance. Like, here's a terrible example, but it's just the first one that comes to my mind. If someone falls off a building and they went splat on the ground, this is entirely hypothetical. The direction from which they fell tells you from where they jumped also. Similarly, in our life, the direction in which we fall, if we dial ourselves back in that direction too, we can use that compass to go home, to find center. Sorry about that example. It's pretty graphic. Our ahankara, our ego, can be like a compass. All the ways it goes, we follow that direction and then turn inward along the same path. That'll take us home. Thank you, dear happy face and frowny face, for your heart me and disco love. Hare Krishna. I have watched Inside Out too, Brandon, and I loved it. I cried in the first one, and that was the first movie I think I ever cried in, and I cried in the second one, and that's the most recent movie I've ever cried in too. Thank you, Peter Schaefer, for your rose too. Hari Om Tat Sat. And dear Brandon, thank you for your pair of hand hearts, and your heart me as well. Om Dum Durgai Namaha. And Pleiadian, thank you for your heart me as well. Radhe Radhe. Namaste, dear Lumi. Strawberry Star Bunny, you shared that you all have asked this before, but what is this music? You need to write it down. It's a playlist that I've cultivated from copyright-free music on SoundCloud. I just looked up no royalties, copyright-free meditation music. This one happened to be named Healing Voices. But I imagine they're difficult to find because they're not copyrighted. People may change their name and upload it in different places. Billy, you shared that spiritual journeys are like trauma recovery, in that we learn, use new tools, regress, and learn again. Absolutely. In fact, something that I've begun to realize through reading Pema Chodharan and her work, and Swami Taratmananda Ji, and the book we read before called Roar the Ganges, is that in spiritual communities, ashrams, monasteries, you'll find the biggest insecurities come out on display. The most petty arguments. You'll find the biggest ego battles in a spiritual community. Why? Because it's the karma running out that we have to bring these things to the surface if we're dedicated spiritual seekers. And naturally, we're going to make a fool out of ourselves time and time again, because that is the nature of the spiritual journey. Everything that we have suppressed or repressed must come up eventually. And that can be very hard. Hello, Drew. You are looking for your universe's truths. Have I found any? I'm still looking with you. But perhaps we can look together. Nick, you are asking, in Hinduism, is there an equivalent to the Christian idea of the end of history? Like in the second revelation? I want to say no, because it's more nuanced, but there are subtleties, there are relationships we could make between them. It's, for example, it's said that for the next 427,000 years, our world will continue to get darker and darker, meaning that it is expected that we'll see more and more tragedy and conflict, hypocrisy and quarrel for the next 427,000 years, according to traditional calculation, astrological calculation. And then it will reach a culmination point. But then the cycle starts all over again, and we rise into a golden age, an age of truth, peace and prosperity, and the cycle continues. And there are different cycles that are longer and shorter. That cycle I described is the Yuga cycle, a part of a Kalpa, and a Kalpa is a part of a Manvantara, and a Manvantara is a part of a Day of God, and a Day of God is a part of a Year of God, and a life cycle of God is a whole cycle of creation coming into existence, persisting and coming out of existence, and then the universe restarts again. So always is there a cycle of creation, preservation, destruction, and then again and again, according to Hindu cosmology. So yeah, there is periods of dark age, there is periodic ends to civilizations and things like that, but not a permanent one, ever. It always begins again anew. Om Namah Shivaya, dear Nish. And hello, dear Shakira. Welcome. Yeah, it's a good question. I hope that answers it. Drew, you were wondering if I've learned to astral project. I have never tried. I'm happy with the experience that's occurring to me. I think the astral realm, also known as the Sukshuma body, that's something we get to experience every night a dream when we descend into the subconscious. So I happily explore it every time I go to sleep. And thank you, Pleiadian, for your heart me that you sent earlier, and Brandon for your subscription, your trio of hand heart. Here's some for you, and 24 roses. Hari Om Tat Sat. So, thank you for that. That's very kind, and I look forward to our continued journey. May it cross paths again and again. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you, smiley face, frowny face, for your paper crane too. I have my paper crane with me today. I can offer one back to you. Thank you for that. Dhanyavad. Strawberry Star Bunny. Thank you for your pumpkin spice latte. Hari Om Tat Sat. Ron, you ask, who is Jesus? Jesus, otherwise known as Yeshua in Aramaic, was a kind of divinity known as Bhagwan. In ancient Sanskrit, it is described that there are 3 forms of divinity, similar to the Holy Trinity. There is Brahman. There is the very formless presence which pervades this whole existence as its source, maintainer, and dissolver. But we can't interact with that form directly. So there is this Maya, this material existence that exists on top of this Brahman, that gives rise to created beings such as me, such as you. But because we are a part of this existence, which is pervaded by that form of the divinity known as Brahman, then that means there is an aspect of that divinity within us too. A spark of it, you could say, or a soul. That is where the second form of divinity comes in, called the Paramatma in Sanskrit, the higher self. You could say that that's our intuitive nature, the very light of lights, the illuminator of our consciousness, Paramatma. That's what we, for example, turn to pray to in prayer, for example. We go within to our higher self, since within us contains an aspect of that formless existence. And every now and then, that spark within a human being fully descends. That is to say, their lower self steps aside, and through them we get to experience a portal into that divinity. We call that Bhagwan, a personal form of the divine, a avatara, a descension of the Holy Spirit, for example. And Yeshua, or Jesus, is quite clearly one of those beings that when you spoke to them, you spoke to their Paramatma directly, their higher self. Jesus called that his Father, as a gateway for you to reach the Holy Spirit. And as such, he himself was called the Son. But this idea, as I've kind of been implying by using words from a different tradition, is more universal than it may seem, and we find similar stories of personal incarnations of that divinity again and again throughout history, throughout the world's religions. And those such beings are very special in that they provide us with stories to take refuge in. They provide us with that human link between us and the divine, since it's very difficult for us to conceptualize just an abstract source. We require something more personal, like a human being which exemplifies virtues of that source. Thank you, dear Moonflower Magic, for your heart me too. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Ron, you share. So when Jesus says, I am the way and the truth and the life, no one comes to the Father but through me. Yes, that refers to his relationship as the gateway between himself as the Son, Bhagwan, and the higher self, the Paramatma. But everyone has their own Ishta Devata, the personal form of the divine that connects with them. Perhaps for you it is Jesus, and for many others it may be someone different. It may be Krishna, for example. That's his birthday today. It's like the Christmas for those who are devotees of Krishna. But the very same divinity, they are one. Christ and Krishna, inseparable, as they represent all that can be accessed through this human experience. Thank you, dear Usha, for your heart me and hand hearts too. Hari Om Tat Sat. Now, I had a little bit of a suspicion, and I hope that I'm wrong, that dear Ron, you are inclusive in your spirituality, as this is a non-denominational space. If there is any talk of one religion being the one which is true and others being false, I will ask you to leave or I will mute you. And if it's a repeated occurrence, I will block. But yeah, there's no room in this space for talking about one religion as true and the rest as false. Either they all have value or none of them do. And that's what Jesus would have wanted. I am sure of it. Thank you, dear Talon, for your heart me and rose too. Radhe, Radhe. Every path to truth is unique, but the truth itself is one, in the same way that we may take many paths up the mountain, but reach the same top. Thank you, dear Ron. All right. This has been a very exuberant introduction to our Sangha today. Welcome, everyone. As I like to start with the question of the day, we've done that, and then I'd like to do a short reading. So I would love to read from another section of the book that we've been reading through together today. This book is called The Hidden Power in Humans. And it was written by this yogi named Vishwa Guruji today, or Paramahansa Swami Maheshwarananda. It is about chakras and kundalini. We have been talking about the Anahata chakra, the heart center. Our heart is ripe full of symbolism, and the yogis pursued this idea very deeply and uncovered so much more than one could ever imagine by themselves. So let's continue. We've been talking about the three kinds of love as described in this book. There's a kind of personal love that we have for our friends and family. And then there was a kind of love that one may have towards the divine, I believe. And there's an even higher kind of divine love called bhakti, which is loving devotion. It's all-encompassing divine love. Oh, you know what? I think I got it a little mixed up. The second kind of love is bhakti, loving devotion. But the third kind of love is the divine itself. As we say, God is love and love is God. The great saint Rishi Narada described the 9 elements of loving devotion, of Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of loving devotion, in his Bhakti Sutras, his scriptures on loving devotion. The first kind is satsang, keeping good company, to cultivate and maintain contact with people who speak of God and truth. The second is harikatha, stories about God, to be inspired by the Holy Scriptures and the life lessons of saints. The third is shraddha, faith, to have faith in the Holy Scriptures and the spiritual masters, and to accept and to take to heart their words and teachings. The fourth is known as Ishvara Bhajana, to sing God's praises. Spiritual songs known as bhajans, which praise the glory of God. I find glory is a funny English word because, at least in the context in which I grew up, glory was something that maybe a warrior might have for slaying lots of enemies or something like that. But I've come to learn that when it is translated from an Eastern context, glory leads to a sense of awe, a kind of reverence where you're just amazed at the aspects of infinitude. In the same way, the same sentiment that a student of mathematics might be amazed at, let's say, the infinite and never-ending, never-repeating digits of pi, the transcendental constant. In the same way, one might be mystified by the expanse of space or by the intricacies of life on Earth. All of that being a reflection of that source speaks to a kind of glory. And I think that's the way in which this word is to be understood. I'll continue. The fifth element of bhakti is mantra japa, the repetition of mantra, to inwardly repeat your mantra at all times and under all circumstances. The sixth is called shamadhamma, internal and external control. To be the master of the senses and not allow temptation to overwhelm us, to maintain discipline in thought, word, and deed. The seventh is called santokadara, to honor all holy people, to respect and honor all people who have dedicated their life to the divine, no matter which religion they belong. The eighth is called santosha, contentment, to be thankful for and content with everything that God gives. And the ninth is Ishvara This is one mouthful of a Sanskrit word, 1 second. Ishvara pranidhana. Ishvara pranidhana. Devotion to the divine. To love God with a pure heart, no egoistic expectations, and complete surrender to the divine. When we introduce these principles of Bhakti Yoga into our life, the yoga of loving devotion, the love of the divine comes into full bloom in our heart. When we feel God's presence in prayer or meditation, our heart overflows with deep inner joy. Tears come because such a vast stream of love and bliss pours forth from the small vessel of our heart that it simply overflows with this wonderful sensation. In English, there is a very appropriate expression, fountain of joy. This supreme state that fills the Anahata Chakra with pure love and bliss is known as Bhav. Specifically, Bhava Samadhi. In this moment, we experience our first union with the divine. Even though this experience may be truly wonderful, do not lose yourself in this ocean of beautiful feelings. Do not come to a standstill here, but rather continue to strive for the real goal. Sri Mahaprabhuji teaches us, love every being as much, if not more, than you love yourself. Care for and respect all living beings, because the divine lives in everyone. When we carry the divine within the consciousness of our heart, we realize love as it relates to ourself and all beings. No other power in the world is capable of opening our heart. Only love. Give protection, and even give yourself it, if it will help someone. Even give yourself if it will help someone. But give yourself love too. Allow your energy to flow. The more you give, the more you receive. When you work for others, the Divine Mother, Nature, works for you, and constantly supplies you with fresh energy. Use this power for something meaningful and do not squander it. Pass on what you have already realized and pray for that which is yet to be realized. Do not idle away your time, as life flows by all too rapidly. Sri Kabir Das wrote in a poem, "Life is like water in a cupped hand. Inevitably it escapes through your fingers, and soon your hand is empty. Every second you lose a valuable pearl of life, and you do not know how long the string of pearls of your life is." I hope you can forgive my improvisation with these poems. Every second is a golden opportunity that never returns. With every second, our life becomes shorter. Time wasted is lost forever, but every tiny endeavor, every step is counted. With each heartbeat and each breath, try to think of the divine as love. We cannot find the divine outside ourselves, but only within, through bhakti and jnana, through loving devotion and knowing wisdom. When we unite knowledge, consciousness, and love, our life becomes successful. There is a story of a person who looked for God in the external world, but we'll save that for our next reading session. So with that, we'll pause our reading of the hidden power in humans there for now. So, thank you for listening. And with that, we can open up our Sangha to discuss whatever it is that is on your heart and mind. Thank you, O one whose name is something I wish to pronounce better and better each time, but my first attempt will go something like this. Mvela Manzini. Thank you for your hat and mustache. Your 1, 2, 3, 4 roses. Another square, 7 by 7, 49 of them. 16, 42, donut. A pair of rosas, and a rose and a trio of TikToks. Radhe, oh Radhe. Thank you, dear Usha, for your 9 roses and your tiny yippee. Hare Krishna. Dear Isabella, thank you for your finger heart. Om Namah Shivaya. And instant asset exchange. Thank you for that rose too. Dear Usha Bai, thank you for sending this wonderful book and your hanging lights as well. Om Brahm Bhairvaya Namo Namaha. I am grateful to know you too, dear Macy. Happy face, frowny face. Thank you for your pumpkin spice latte and your flowers. Radhe, oh Radhe. And Eris, thank you for your quartet of W's too. I pronounced your name well. Well, that's a fortunate surprise. It means he who comes from the sea. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad you liked the book. And G to Infinity, you will continue to listen to these singing improvs. I'm happy to hear that. And I hope without great disdain. And good evening, Leona. Welcome. Thank you for sharing your blessings, Jack. And thank you for your time, dear Brianna. Lala Michelle, you're wondering, how am I? I'm feeling well in this moment. Thank you for asking. How are you? Jovi, Thank you for your pair of fires too. Ariom Tatsat. Lord Brodo, you're wondering if I have any sound bowls. I do. My mother got me a Tibetan singing bowl. It says Om Mani Padme Hum on it. It's not near me at the moment, but perhaps we could use it one day. And happy face, frowny face. Thank you for your 10 roses too. Gam Ganapatay Namaha. Dear Jack, you are wondering, what aspect of my personality has been the most challenging for me to master? I don't think I've mastered any part. But I am a notoriously stubborn person. I have a high inertia. My turning radius is very large. If I want to go in another direction, it may take some time to turn around, but yeah. At the same time, I found it to be the most fruitful part to befriend, because the more open I am to be wrong, to have someone show me another way, the more I invite life in. And with that, I am very grateful to continue my journey on befriending my own personality. Always a beautiful reminder, Brianna. May wisdom and compassion guide your way. I can certainly bring my singing bowl. Might have to wait till next time because I'll have to change some settings on sound driver that I'm using with my microphone. I don't think it would pick up this sound bowl. I'd have to turn off the noise reduction. And hello, JR. You're wondering if I like beans. I do like beans. I like legumes. Mung beans are my favorite. And hello, Demad. Dear Lala Michelle, you ask, what is a good routine for mornings when you take a while to wake up because of anxiety? I too am like you. From the moment that I'm in a waking state of conscious to the moment that I get out of bed, it may be quite some time. I really ease my way into the day, and then I'm on fire even, perhaps. I feel like I am. Before my feet touch the ground, I do a prayer. I consider that this body has come from Mother Earth. She has given me this body, and in many ways I've made a mess out of it. And as such, every step I take masks some of Earth's natural beauty. I may step on a bug. I may step on some grass or plants which may fold it. With each step I take, I must be aware of whom I'm stepping on. My mother, Mother Earth. This body of hers is something I have to give back one day. So before my feet touch the ground, I do a prayer. That may I give back to this world more than what I have taken from it. Since my duty here is not to receive, but to serve. And I have a little altar with forms of the divine that I do a little mantra for each of them. And I go and see my plant, which is another form of the divine, outside, and I do my mantras, and I prune her and take care of the plant. And I start my day in prayer in mantra. And that is the most helpful for me. Pardon me, I got the hiccups. I can feel them a little bit. Instead of worrying about whether or not I am going to feel okay today, whether or not I am going to be happy, I think about all those who are unhappy, all those whom I may need to help. And that gets me out of bed. Because then the day is not about me anymore. It's about what I can do for others. And oh, it's a beautiful puzzle today. Oftentimes I have to solve a puzzle to prove that I am live. And I wish you could see this. It's the most beautiful beach. I like that. Thank you, Michael, for your heart me and rose you sent. Om Sum Suryaya Namah. And Moonflower Magic, thank you for your tiny. Yahoo! And JR, thank you for your finger heart. Radhe Radhe. Jack, you would like to share with me a pattern. This is the truth about the self. Maybe I've heard of it. It consists of 11 phrases that remind us of the divine. Starts with A-I-N, Ein. All the power that ever was or ever will be is here and now. Keter. I am an expression for the primal that will that primal will that eternally creates and sustains the universe. Hukma, through me, its unfailing wisdom, its form and thought and word. I'll keep reading them as they come through. Thank you, dear Lala Michelle, for your blessings. Much love to you too. Hare, you are wondering what I think about energetic cleansing by distance with somebody who can see entities. That's an interesting idea. I don't feel like it's necessary. And I say that because you are already pure. Your soul is pristine and it never can be any other way. We have things that we can improve about ourselves, but we don't need to associate those things with negative entities. If we're on the path of growth, of learning, of humility, then we'll constantly reach to higher and higher things and pull ourselves up. We can only raise our consciousness by striving for higher things. So the reason I'm cautious about any kind of energetic cleansing is that implies a shift in the spiritual path. Instead of going towards what's higher, we're looking towards what's wrong, what's negative, and bringing our awareness there. And of course, it comes with the idea that, if we remove what's negative, then we can focus on the positive. But, in my opinion, you don't clean yourself before getting into a shower. You get into a shower to clean yourself. In the same way, we continue with our spiritual pursuit, our sadhana, uplifting our mind, and everything negative will drop away without even bringing your attention to that. Positivity and negativity are endless resources. If we go in search of trying to minimize the negative, we'll do that forever. There's no end to something that we can fix, some problem to solve, something we're doing wrong. We'll only just bring into our awareness more negativity, like a game of whack-a-mole. You whack a mole, two pop up in different places. But in pursuit of positivity, it is just as infinite. The more positivity we bring into our life, the more positivity we can go and search for. Now, I'm not telling anyone what to do with their life. If you wish to get some kind of energetic cleansing done, by all means, go for it. But in my experience, it is unnecessary so far as long as we are striving for higher and higher things. Some more interesting phrases from Jack. There's Bina, full of understanding of its perfect law. I am guided moment by moment along the path. He said, from the inexhaustible riches of its limitless substance, I draw all both material and spiritual. Gubhuraha, I'm not sure if I pronounced that one right. I recognize the manifestation of the indestructible justice in all circumstances of my life. Tibheret, in all things, big or small, I see the beauty of the divine expression. Nidaj, living from that will, sustained by wisdom and understanding, mine is the victorious life. And Hod, I look to the future with confidence in the perfect realization of the eternal splendor of the limitless light. These are very beautiful so far. And thank you, dear Moonflower Magic, for your subscription too. Radhe, Radhe. Lucas, you are wondering, are they still promoting Hindutva talking points? I don't know whom you're referring to. I have heard that there has been a lot of Hindutva live streams on TikTok lately. Some people have sent them to me. This is not one of them. I want to be clear. There's no room for nationalism in any spiritual pursuit. Yeah, it so happens that the country surrounding the place in which the Sanatana Dharma first originated from the Himalayas is India today, or Bharat. But that does not make it a Hindu nation. It just makes it a place in which that kind of spirituality has been preserved through ancestral and ancient lineages. But the gift of the Sanatana Dharma to the whole world is universal. It's no more Indian than it is Canadian or Brazilian or Russian, because it applies for all of humanity. Anyone who claims that some form of spirituality is dependent on a nationality, or that some nationality is dependent on a spirituality, they are not truly going in pursuit of ultimate liberation. Ultimate liberation means letting go of ideas such as caste, such as creed, such as gender, such as nationality, and see yourself only as the Atma, the immortal spirit within and as everything. But yeah, I'm very happy to always be on this journey with you, dear Moonflower Magic. And happy face, frowny face. Thank you for your trio of cakes too. Hare Om Tat Sat. And Emmanuel, yo soy. Thank you for your rose. Hare Om Tat Sat. And Benny Gaze, thank you for your heart meat too. Some more phrases from Jack. Yesod, in thought, word, and deed, I trust my life from day to day upon the firm foundation of eternal being. And Malket, the kingdom of spirit, is embodied in my flesh. This is very beautiful. Great Garji, you provided a source that Jack is referring to collectively called the Sephirot. I don't know if I pronounced that right. From Hebrew. That's beautiful. I love that. Hebrew is a very mystical language too. Happy Krishna Day, dear Benny, yes. Haribol. Dave Harvey, you're wondering, what are my thoughts on plant medicine? Well, if you fit the symptoms for the medicine, then it's worth a shot, absolutely. Remember that medicine is a medicine, which means we have to respect it, meaning that we take it very sparingly. I do not know of any plant medicine that is meant to be taken every day, or even repeatedly over any stretch of time. Generally, plant medicine is sufficient in one dose, or maybe a couple doses, but some finite number. Otherwise, it's not really medicine, because if you're bound to take it for the rest of your life, it's only suppressing the symptoms rather than addressing the cause. Isn't it so? But if you have to take it for the rest of your life, then it must not be getting to the root of some ailment. So I have a lot of respect for herbal medicinals, for plant medicines, natural remedies. And respect means that we do not abuse them. To abuse them means to use them for some entertainment. You know, people call many plant medicines party drugs. But it's not something for you to necessarily have a good time with. It might make you feel good, sure, but the point is not for some temporary pleasure of the body, but to unlock a door in your heart. Once the door is open, it's open. We just have to walk through. Thank you, dear Laura, for your tiny toe. Yippee! And hello, Raccoon Holler. Oh, I didn't see this till now, Emmanuel. We were wondering how old I am. In this body, 22. Thank you, Sharu, for your heart, me too. Hariom Tatsat. Oh, I love the way you put that, Jack. Once you learn the vibration, you can produce it on your own. That's wonderful. Yeah. If we were learning an instrument, we may first hear how it is played by others. But once they give us the teaching, we can produce the same sounds too. Oh, it's very late for you, dear Nitro girls. Either that or very early, depending on if you have yet to go to sleep or you are just waking up. Seb, you ask, who is my guru? My guru is a tricky bastard, because he never reveals himself to me. You know, I've begged for years for him to come. He is yet to show himself. He prefers teaching from a distance, which I understand. It's good not to be attached to a physical form. But it leaves me wondering, so much doubt. I do not even know who my guru is. I've mistook him for many people, but I know that the guru comes in many forms. Our parents are our gurus. Our friends, our classmates too. Our teachers in school. And if we are lucky enough to have a healthy one, spiritual members of our society can be our gurus. But the Satguru, the true guru, I don't know. They are hiding from me. Or maybe I'm hiding from them. Who knows? Thank you, Brandy Boys, for your rose too. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari, you are wondering if I'm going to do something for Krishna's Janmasthami. His birthday celebrations today. I don't know if there's any celebration near me, so it'll have to be a personal one for me. At the end of this live, we can do a mantra in the direction of Krishna. I think that much we can do together tonight. And I like your affirmation, Hari. Your guru will manifest without thinking. One day, be patient. Thank you for that. Hello, brave Bella. Did you change your profile picture to a sleeping Snoopy? It's good to get rest. And it's very true, Dansuela. I'm still so young. In this life, there's plenty of time for my guru to arrive. Very true. Very true. Maybe just enough time for me to discover my own independence until someone comes into my life and takes it and has it all come crashing down. Such is the nature of a guru sometimes. Deconstruct everything that you've worked for. No, this is all wrong, start over again. Perhaps. We'll see. It's interesting you speak of Ra, Amber. You know, Ra is the... this will be a fun lesson. Ra is, of course, the sun god in Egyptian times. Ra also is the root of the Bija mantra Ram, which is for our solar plexus chakra, which is the place of the sun within us. In our solar plexus chakra, the syllable for it is Ram. And actually it makes sense because, well, allow me to show you. With the help of this whiteboard I've done today. Oh, if it'll even fit in frame, I have to bend like this. So I discovered last night, as I was praying to Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, that in Sanskrit there are 5 places of articulation corresponding to 5 rows. And there are 3 qualities that change depending on the place of articulation also. And those correspond to 3 gunas, or qualities of nature, just as the 5 places of articulation correspond to the 5 elements of nature. Akash, Vayu, Tejas, Apas, and Prithvi. That's space, air. This is fire, this is wind. This is water, and this is earth. And it so happens that in the row corresponding to the element of fire is the letter Ra. And Ra means, it is the quality of fire that is Rajasic and Sattvic, meaning pure and passionate. And I thought that was very interesting. I think there is a deep relationship between the very sound Ra and fire and the sun. Anyway, I certainly would not have realized this if it weren't for dear Saraswati Devi. So my wishes to her. Om Aim Saraswatyai Namah. Tattvamasi. That's a very good observation. Interesting how I've started with nga and ka is on the 5th column. Yeah, I think that going by the relationship between the 3 gunas and the elements in their order, that we must start with an element of space, akash, with no gunas. And this corresponds to a guttural sound with no qualities. Just pure formless resonance. Like in the nasal cavity. I think it's about time we change the order of the Devanagari script to reflect its esoteric origins. Yeah. You won't find that in any Sanskrit class. You won't find that anywhere on the internet for that matter. Only by praying to Saraswati will she reveal subtle aspects of her language. Now thank you, Seb, for the rose that you sent before. Radhe, oh Radhe. And dear Jen, thank you for your finger heart. Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. Smiley face, frowny face. Thank you for your 11 roses too. Om Dum Durgai Namaha. Tattvamasi, you're wondering if I can show that one more time. I've got your contact. I can send you a picture of it on WhatsApp. I'm happy you'll appreciate my whiteboard. Jasmine, you're wondering what the significance of my head covering is. Oh, it's just a goofy little thing. It is a bandana that has cats on it, since I love cats and yams. It's something that I've designed, and it's something available on the link tree in my bio. I was always getting my hair in my eyes, and I don't like having my hair up because my hair is such that it always gets tangled in a hair elastic or in a scrunchie. And I don't like wearing a toque because it's too hot for that sometimes. So one of you suggested that I wear a bandana. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to wear a bandana. And I thought, you know what? I'd like to make my own bandana. Have some cute cats on it and stuff. So I did that too. Ryan, you ask, what is the most important takeaway from Hinduism I've learned? There isn't one. Hinduism doesn't exist. Try that on for size. No, truly. What's called as Hinduism is referred to by the people beyond the Indus River, namely the Persians, and they gave the name to the people and their culture beyond the river that divided them as the Hindus, since they were beyond the Indus River. Yeah, the word Hindu has no Sanskrit significance, but this word we refer to as Hinduism, it points to the direction of something ancient, a set of scriptures known as the Vedas. humanity's earliest known revelations. But they're not owned by any religion. They can't be called Hindu. They can't be called a part of anything in particular. The only words used to describe them is Sanatana Dharma, which means the eternal path, the eternal way of truth. Dharma is exceedingly difficult to translate. But it's something that we're all a part of. It applies to every religion, whether you are Christian, whether you are Buddhist, whether you are Jewish, whether you are Sikh. This ancient path is something that we're all on, universally accommodating to. So what's the most important lesson from the path that we're all on? I can't answer that because I have yet to learn it. This is the most important lesson itself, the very path, the journey. And there will always be further unboxing in this infinite journey. As our spirituality evolves, just as we do, as human beings. But perhaps, maybe there's your answer, disguised as an absence of one. But the most important lesson is that there's always another one to learn. Thank you, dear Bella, for your trio of roses too. Radhe Radhe. And Angelo, thank you for your heart nito. Om Namah Shivaya. Tony, you share, you cut your hair off so it doesn't bother you much. That's one way of doing it for sure. Thank you, dear Ryan, for the balloons you've shared as well. Hari Om Tat Sat. Dear Bree, you ask, what do I think of soulmates? I think everyone's each other's soulmate, because we all have the capacity to be vulnerable with one another. We all have the same source of love and light within. Whomever you connect with in that way is your soulmate. And you can have many soulmates in the same way you can only ever have one. Because it's one love, one soul that you share with every lover in your life. And they all bring us new lessons as an infinite journey of experiencing the love that all the expressions of the souls have to offer in this universe. We're so unique, we're so different, we're equally different. It's just a matter of who you're willing to work through your differences with. And that's your choice. You get to decide whose soul you want to experience, whose energy you wish to mate with and produce life, maybe not biologically, but maybe spiritually. There's a relationship of the soul that exists between everyone. In that way we are one. Seb, you're wondering, how do I know what to study? And I don't speak Sanskrit, although the sounds, I'm still working on the sounds. The sounds themselves are fascinating. I could spend a whole lifetime just studying the sounds, not to mention how you put them together. But how do I know what to study? I don't study. That's probably the biggest difference between myself and most students, is that I don't study. I let the universe teach me. And the difference is that by studying, I'm always on the search. I'm always looking for some text, some story, some teacher, some course. But letting the universe teach me, I do what I do regularly, and naturally a lesson is there. I go for a walk with my sister, and a bird lands on a branch in a certain way that gets me thinking about life, and by the time I'm done walking with my sister, I'll be thinking differently about the universe, and that's my lesson. If it so happens that I feel drawn to read something, I'll read it. But the lesson was not found in the text. The lesson was found within. It just became expressed through the text because the universe likes to tell a story. It likes to make a play out of things. But the flow of teaching is like a river that's all around us, flowing in every which way and direction. We just kind of have to follow that stream of teachings. The way you make breakfast in the morning can teach you something. The way you fall down the staircase before your meeting can teach you something. The way you look at someone after you are feeling a certain way can teach you something. So if you study not from a teacher necessarily, or from a book, or from any object, we study our subjective experience of this life. So much meaning unfolds. This is my opinion. Thank you, Babblefishy, for your trio of roses earlier. And Emmy, thank you for your team bracelets. 3 of them too. Radhe, Radhe. Lily Amor, thank you for your heart me and octet of roses. Jai Sitaram. Anna, you share that you always remember Isaac Newton when I talk about this. That's great, right? He was just sitting under a tree. An apple fell, and he looked at that apple, and then he looked at the moon, and he asked the question, if the apple falls to the earth, why doesn't the moon also fall to the earth? And that was his eureka moment. What if the moon is actually falling to the earth? It's just also moving away from it at the same speed, and so it's trapped in orbit. Terrestrial and celestial gravitation became unified just by observing an apple and the moon. Most people forget the moon part. But I love that story. Tattvamasi, you ask, how to realize your dharma without it clouding your own opinions. I believe that your dharma is always a reflection of your innate talents, balanced with what other people see in you. There's a wonderful musician / comedian on this app. I forget their username, but they often make skits with the piano and they're very funny. And one day, I think they were on a podcast and they said something that I heard that stuck with me. They said that their family, their friends always wanted them to pursue a career in music because they were so talented in that way. But they always wanted to do comedy, to do skits. And so making musical comedy, kind of in the same way that Bo Burnham does as well, it's a balance of both what others see in us and what we see in ourselves. And I think that's a perfect example of our dharma. Our duty is to fulfill our responsibilities, the potential that we can bring out for others, as well as our unique aspiration to express it in a certain way. Now, how you can do this without clouding your opinions? A good question. I'll have to ask you. In what way could Dharma cloud our opinions? Hopefully, our righteous duty is what gives our mind some clarity. Knowing, having a sense of confidence in our path, in our actions, in our responsibility at this moment, makes our mind crystal clear. Thank you, Aaron, for your 10 roses too. Om Sum Soryaya Namaha. Sweets, you're wondering if I am Hindu. It's a question we were talking about a few minutes ago. Let me put it like this. I am no more Hindu than I am a Buddhist, or a Christian, or a Jain, or a Sikh, or a Muslim, or a Jew, or one whom may embody indigenous teachings too. I just have yet to learn the vocabulary, the ways of many of those traditions. And the vocabulary that I use happens to be in line with those that many Hindus use, but I consider myself first and foremost a practitioner of humanity. Humanity is my religion. Breath is my uniting prayer. And consciousness is my uniting divinity. And with that, I see the same in everyone. But today for the Hindus is a big celebration. Krishna Janmashtami. Thank you for wishing me a happy one, dear Corey. Salutations to Krishna, the one whom forcibly attracts the minds of all Paramahansas. That's the definition of the title Krishna in the spiritual sense. And Tin Man Doug, you're wondering, how do we know what that path is though? If you're thinking about it in terms of the future, we don't. We have no idea where this path will lead. But the path that we're on now, in the ways in which we can make it selfless, that is the right path already. We don't need to change the path that we're on. We're on the path that we're on, I think. If anything needs to change, it's only our relationship to it. That's something within, rather than without. Tattvam Asi, you can say that you've decided to be a father. Now you take on the father's dharma and take care of the children. But that father's dharma could be defined by you, and you can have varied opinions about a father's dharma. Your child is a unique expression of life. They require just as unique of an approach of fatherhood. You may have differing ways in your fatherhood than another, but that's not because your understanding of what it means to be a father is more or less right than another. It's because you have adapted to what your child needs from you, or what you need to give your child. And that's special. Like all dharma, it's unique to the individual and their experience and circumstances. And with that, I am sure that even if you have thoughts that are apparently clouding your judgment, just by continuing to be a father, you will learn how to be a better one every day. No one is perfect in fulfilling their responsibilities. We will all make mistakes along the way. And that's okay. Cindy Berry, you ask, what do I believe happens to us when we pass on? Well, what do you believe happens before birth? Surely it is verily the same. And sweets, you were wondering if I read the Quran. Not entirely. I read one passage. I think in English it translates to the cow. I forget the Arabic name for that passage. I haven't read the original scriptures of almost any tradition. I often find them to be very esoteric, and so I rely on a more subtle approach that takes into consideration my experiences of childhood, youth, and growing up to find a kind of innate teaching in everything rather than necessarily relying on another teaching. But I'm sure that since all things have arisen from the same source, that every expression of truth offers something unique but leads us in the same direction. And thank you for your motivation, sweets. A user who I don't think I've met before, but I welcome to introduce themselves. Doesn't like my use of the word dharma. I think it's a great Sanskrit word, and I will continue to use it. Dharma refers to something almost untranslatable in Sanskrit, one's righteous duty. But it also can be used in terms of a living teaching or a path that one is on to express their inner truths. All of these come out in this word dharma. I love Sanskrit words, and I like bathing you all in them. Sanskrit is a very ancient language. In fact, it's the oldest that we have definitive proof of a people speaking. You'll find many Sanskrit words make their way into English today. Perhaps the most common one being karma, which is a beautiful word as well. And thank you, dear Jai, for your pair of galaxies. That's very beautiful. It's very humbling. You had shared that being a good person should be worshipped. Not necessary. Being a good person is not to gain anything from others. It's because by expressing our innate goodness that we fulfill our potential. Goodness is not merely a quality that a person can have or not. It's something innate. It's something that requires effort and energy to express. Goodness means bringing awareness and understanding. And if we worship someone for having this, then we may forget that that very same possibility exists within us also. That innate possibility requires no worship, but we can be role models for others too. And hello Mason and Calvin, and Mason T, you both, two Masons, saying hello at the same time. And hello dear Michelle. Brave Bella, you share that you love how I navigate hate comments. You know, I never consider them hate comments. People have an experience that does not seem to align with mine. And it's only natural that if someone is expressing something that we have not experienced, or if they are not speaking about something that we have experienced, then we may bridge that gap, perhaps through some means that could be made more healthy. But I trust that the intention is only to preserve a sense of experience that we've had, and in any way in which I can validate the experience of others and relate with them in my own. I'm happy to do that. I like that perspective, Mason. Everybody has a different point of view. Might as well explore it. And it helps us too. I don't think exploring another person's perspective ever negates our own. It only provides another vantage point, which we may choose to relate with or not. And to me, on the spiritual path, we need all the help we can get. There's absolutely a reason that we all live different lives and yet can share our experiences with each other. And with that, we've all experienced something unique of life and have that as a puzzle piece to fit in with those around us too. Dear Mason, you share that spirituality has taught you to keep an open mind with everything. How else can we come to the spirit? For the mind is in between. The mind holds the keys, both for our bondage and our liberation. And hello, dear Paradise. And I like that approach, dear Jay. Along the same lines, this is why you explore religious texts, perspectives. Beautiful. Mason, you share that negative comments used to bother you. You just have little to no expectation, and that keeps things peaceful. That's very healthy. Yeah. And we cannot have the internet without it. If we expect the internet to be without any kind of negativity or trolling, well, it really wouldn't be the internet. The only way we can find an absence of negativity is to be without one's mind. Because our mind is like a painter that paints in the sentiments of the words, the forms, the shapes around us. Even if one were to run away from society and live in the woods or a cave, we would still have to deal with this thing up here being negative. The good news is that this negativity bias of ours can absolutely be swerved. We can transform our understanding of negativity itself by looking at it in a different way. That negativity is a possibility, a place for a flower to be planted. We say that positivity is like a flower, but negativity is like soil. It's the perfect place to plant a flower, because that's where a flower has yet to grow. Lilimor, you shared that you are so glad to meet us all together. We can do the world to a better place. Even if there is a language barrier, your sentiments come through loud and clear, and I love that. I think there absolutely is that potential in every community, including our own. And dear Michelle, you've been meaning to watch my lives, but you haven't had the time lately. That's okay. There's nothing in this live that you can't get elsewhere. So please do not feel sad. We're living your life. That's beautiful. Mithya, that's a good Sanskrit word. Mason, you're wondering, does anyone else make jokes when in a serious situation? Oh, I can't help it. I can't stand a serious situation. I have to make it lighter, without taking away from the severity involved, or the sincerity. I'll tell you, just the other day, here's an example from me, but I'd love to hear from you too. A police officer came to our house. Nothing serious, don't worry, but, you know, for the privacy of my family, I won't go into details. But anyway, the police officer was in the house, and the news wasn't particularly amazing news or anything like that. It wasn't terrible news either. No one died or anything like that. But anyway, we were all in the kitchen, me, my mother, my sister, and the police officer. And, you know, just seconds before the officer knocked on the door, I had put popcorn in the microwave. So we're all standing in this kitchen discussing a serious topic, and the microwave's going, and I'm looking at it every few seconds between the police officer and the microwave. And suddenly the popcorn starts popping. Pop, 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 pop. And then when it's done, I just walk over to the microwave and I open it. And I open it and I put it in a bowl. I put some ghee on it. I put some nutritional yeast as well. But the ghee wasn't melting, so I put it back in the microwave, closed the door. Boop, 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 beep. Checking on it. Then when it was done, I took it out and I was mixing it. And then for the rest of this very serious conversation, I was eating popcorn. Want some popcorn? I offered it to him and he laughed. I was very happy to see him smile and hear him laugh. He thanked me, but he did not take any popcorn, probably because it looked weird with my ghee and nutritional yeast on it. Anyway, after they left, you know, the smile on my sister and my mother's face, they said, I couldn't believe that while this was happening, you were just making and eating popcorn. I was like, what? I'm still listening. I'm still engaging. I offered it to him. Hello, Annika's World. Thank you for your good night wishes. You share that you have a hard time slowing down and you feel the need to always be doing or thinking something. And you shall. Yeah. I don't know what part of the tradition that has come from the East tells us to stop thinking or stop doing. It's funny. You know, it's a common sentiment from practitioners of Eastern spirituality that we should become still, we should silence our mind. But if you listen to great gurus, yogis, or even crack open an ancient spiritual text, it doesn't say anything about stopping the mind. It doesn't say anything about becoming still. But those sentiments are absolutely there. It's just in a different way. The mind's dharma, its duty, is to think. And I like how Jay put it. It's more about directing. Instead, we should direct our mind to something a little more focused, perhaps, instead of jumping from topic to topic all the time. We find a kind of flow, and in that flow there is a kind of stillness, even though everything material is still moving. Your body, your mind. But there's a different kind of stillness, a stillness of our sense of self, where we're no longer worried about whether or not we're doing the right thing. We're no longer fearful of if this moment is enough for us. There's a stillness, a kind of contentment, a resolution in our consciousness. It's okay to have an active mind. The nature of the mind is to be active. However, our mind can be utilized in more productive ways. And by productive, I don't mean in the industrialist way of contributing to some business or career. I mean that we dress our mind up like a temple. Let's let our mind be like a sacred space, where we use it to produce sacred thoughts, to carry sentiments of love and understanding in everything that we do, especially for ourselves. Right now, most people's minds, and let me know if you can relate to this, they're a complaining machine. I don't know what it is, but our minds are just complaining all the time nowadays. Always criticizing, always judging. It's not the quantity of thoughts, it's the quality. Let's lighten up the load on our mind by rephrasing things towards the positive. It doesn't mean believing in anything different, nor does it necessarily mean changing the way you live. But we see our mind as an instrument. Here's an example. If we have a mind that thinks, I'm so stupid, we don't need to delete that thought, just change it to another perspective. And I don't mean that I'm smart either, because that would invalidate the thought. There's a way of validating the thought, but phrasing it in a healthy way always. So instead of thinking, I'm so stupid, or replacing it with I'm so smart, we can say, I have so much intelligence that I could be utilizing. I would like to use it more. It makes the same observation, but expresses it in an empowering way. We're still acknowledging perhaps a deficit in being smart, but instead we're phrasing it in terms of a possibility, something that we know we can do. If, for example, our mind is thinking, why would he lie to me? Why would he lie to me? Instead of trying to stop that thought or replacing it with, he didn't lie to me, he didn't lie to me, we can go, he has given me an opportunity to value honesty. Now I remember how important truthfulness is. Very same experience, acknowledging the same point, but we've just transformed it from something negative to something positive. I believe the psychologists call it positive reframing. The secret is to not negate the thought, but to say exactly the same thing in a way that opens up room for curiosity, for discovery, for acceptance. Or here's another one. I'll do a third example. She never has any time for me. That could be a thought. Instead of trying to remove it or replace it, we can say, the time she does have for me is so precious. It's so precious to me. That I know she may be busy. And that makes what little time we have so far so important to me. Making the same observation, but in a way that brings out the truth, I think. Annika's world, you clarify. Kind of like there's no bad experience, just how you view it. All experiences are fertile ground for something new to discover. There is a way of seeing each circumstance in a way that brings out what's possible without invalidating what people are experiencing. Even in a tragedy where many people are suffering, we can look for the possibility to help. Because we know that although we would never wish the suffering on those around us, we can be grateful for the opportunity to be of help itself. And so even in those moments, we can find something good for us to do. All the goodness exists within, we just have to get it out. And a so-called bad experience is the best place to bring out goodness. Dear Van, you're wondering if I have a Bible with me, as you'd love a verse. I do not have a Bible with me. My apologies. Thank you, dear Annika's world, for the love you. Did I thank you for this? I at least thanked you in my mind already, but just in case, I thank you again. Hare Krishna. Much love to you, Jay. Even anger has its place. Why? I screamed that at the top of my lungs. Purpose, intent, we're in control. Thank you for sharing. You must go, dear Lily Moore. Well, thank you for sending much love. All the same back to you too. Now it is getting late for me, so I would like to start bringing the Sangha to a close. But before we go, I would like to ask you all my question of the day today. What is something that we hope to give back to this world in this life? I'm interested in hearing from you. Though we come into this world and leave with nothing. It doesn't mean the world retains nothing of ours. Jay, you share love. Michelle, you share love. Petit, you share hope. And Annika, you share hope as well. Bodhisattva shares Gzhad Gzunai, awakening consciousness. Love and understanding shares Anderson. Hare, you share that you will live to give back the laugh. I think I like that answer. Megatroni, you share kindness, love, and knowledge. Jay, you share you entered this world in travesty, but that taught you what you care about today. Gardening Greycard, you share that you wish to give back all material you gained here and to gain back a memory of what I had before. How beautifully said. Lily Moore, before you go, you share love, hope, and understanding. What I love about these answers is that the only way in which they can be true is if they have existed within you already. That's the only way. If we have come into this world with nothing and leave it with nothing, but we leave the world with something, must mean that we've come into the world with it already a part of us. Alice, you share trust, peace, and love to all. There's B Fergie. B Fergie. I don't know if that's how I pronounce your name. Tears are beautiful, Jay. These are all wonderful answers. In G2 Infinity, you share, technically, this body. And you would like that your dreams for this world come to fruition. Beautifully said. Oh, that's so sweet, Anna. You had replied back to Jay. World gives us rain. We give it tears. That's so poetic. Macy, you'd like to give up the idea of being in control. You've taken this question of the day in a new direction, and I love that. We give back to this world our sense of control. That's actually wonderful. Have a good night, dear Anderson. Thank you for that, Macy. Also, the connection with the divine shares Hare, that we can all be connected with the Supreme. And Ankan, you share connection too. Those are wonderful answers, everyone. I'm going to pause our question of the day for now, but thank you. You're always welcome to answer it in the recordings that I upload too. The comment section there is much more expansive too. And many of you very poetic beings write such wonderful poems there, and I love reading them too. I'm happy you love my cat bandana, dear Tamia. There's a couple more things I'd like to do with you all before we end this live stream. The first is to read from another section of our book. Then I'd like to do a show and tell. Someone wanted to share something that they were working on with us. And then we'll do a meditation for Krishna, since it's his birthday today. Let's continue reading about love and the heart and the Anahata Chakra. We left off talking about how the only way we can find the divine is within ourselves. And the word for the divine that our author uses is God. He writes that we cannot find God outside ourself, but only within, through bhakti and jnana, through loving devotion and knowing wisdom. There's a story of a person who looks for God in the external world. So let's read about that story. A man observed an old lady walking up and down outside her house with eyes glued to the ground, obviously looking for something. He approached her and asked if he could perhaps help her in some way. Gratefully, she said yes, and explained that she had lost her sewing needle and was looking for it. After they had both scoured the area for half an hour, the man finally asked, "Grandmother, please try to remember where you lost the needle." She says, "Oh, that I know very well. I dropped it on the floor inside my house." "Then for heaven's sake, why are we looking for it outside?" said the man. Stunned, she said, "Because it's too dark inside." And that was her innocent response. This story may seem ridiculous to us, but if we are honest, don't we behave like this as well? We are constantly looking for happiness in the external world, and we often spend our whole life chasing after love, recognition, acceptance, etc. When we look in the wrong place, we are unable to find fulfillment. Whereas if we go within, we will find the connection to our real divine self and everything that we have ever longed for in abundance. To live yoga in daily life means to find and constantly maintain the connection to the inner self in each of our activities. "24 hours a day, and do everything with love and careful consideration." When we live and work with the attitude of Naham Karta Prabhu Deep Karta, I am not the doer, it is the divine who acts in me, spiritual practice and worldly activity merge into unity. The mantra of the Anahata Chakra is Yam, and it means to let go, to liberate, to give. Yama also refers to the 5 ethical principles of Raja Yoga. Ahimsa, non-violence; Satya, truthfulness; Asteya, non-stealing; Brahmacharya, pure way of life; and Aparigraha, non-accumulation. To purify the consciousness and heart by adherence to these principles is a lifelong task, as new situations will continue to arise. Through prayer, practicing mantra, satsang, good company, and singing bhajans, devotional songs, we are not only able to clear blockages in the Anahata Chakra, but also in the Manipura and Vishuddhi Chakra, which are the chakras above in our throat and below in our solar plexus. When energy is able to flow freely through the heart again, fear, annoyance, sadness, and nervousness are washed away. And with that, let's pause our reading of the hidden power in humans there for now. We'll continue our discovery of the Anahata Chakra in our next session. Thank you for listening. To infinity. That story reminds you. Wayne Dyer used it too in one of his lectures. It's beautiful. And thank you, dear Annika. Oh, I'm going to thank you for the love you again. I always make a fool out of myself thanking gifts that I've already thanked. But let me tell you, it's a very non-intuitive display on my screen. Anyway, my gratitude is always the same. Thank you all for listening. I'm very glad that you enjoy it. It's very true. This chakra portion is a lot. There's so much to uncover in our heart. Only fitting. Graha means attachment, asks Tattvam Asi. That sounds like a good guest. I'm not sure. I think maybe I'm completely wrong about this, but to me it sounds like it might be related to the root in grihasti, which means to be a householder. I think the idea of having some sense of ownership is involved in that word. A sense of possession, I think. But that's just my guess. Nanika, you share that you're struggling with devotion. Can we discuss that in another live? Absolutely. Yeah. I will say, from my own life, when I was experiencing anxiety, devotion was what brought me out of my despair. It's obvious now that I look back at it, but it wasn't obvious at the time. That when I was feeling anxious, depressed, I was feeling, why is the universe doing this to me? Why am I feeling like this? How can I feel better? And I didn't realize it at the time, but it was all about I, me. And that doesn't mean that I was doing anything wrong. I just had yet to realize that my relationship with this world is such that I'm not here to receive anything from it, but to express my joy and love to it. And when that flipped for me, I started singing. I got up from the floor of my anxious defeat and just started chanting to the form of the divine that made sense to me in that moment, and that was Krishna. Even though I had no religious upbringing, and still to this day have no intention of being considered a religious person, just giving my love to the divine made me feel better. And I think logically it makes sense, because within us is the source of love and joy. In order to experience it, we must express it. We must get it up and out into this world through maybe song, dance. And that is the nature of devotion. It's not because I felt like the divine needed it from me. It's not like I felt forced into it all. It was entirely voluntary. In fact, I'm sure that I surprised the divine. The divine was like, oh, you're singing to me? Where does this come from? And it wasn't for the divine. You know? It was for me to express my love that I had. And the source became my recipient all at the same time. And that is the nature of bhakti, of loving devotion. That it's the greatest opportunity to express one's inner joy, inner light, inner love. That actually the divine provides us with the opportunity to give, not because the divine needs us to do that or because the world needs us to do that, but because doing so brings out joy within us. And maybe that's a great segue into our meditation for tonight. We can do the very same mantra that got me out of my anxiety. But before then, I would like to do a little interim. I would love to show you something that a dear guest has shared with me and through me to all of you. I have in the link tree in my bio a Google form where you can submit something that you've been working on that you feel like you want to share with everyone here. And so some people have filled that out, and I get to express some of the things that has been shared with me. So I'm going to show this. Today I'd like to share with you all this beautiful quilt. And before I zoom in on it and explore it with you, I'll read what they wrote. This was from Melinda, and this is called Melinda's First Quilt. They share. Oh, there I had what they wrote down. I just need to find it. What started as a token to rekindle a lost love ended as a journey of self-love. This quilt is a log cabin in the pattern of courthouse steps and the style of Japanese lanterns. The red centers represent the warmth within a home, the fireplace. To me, it will always represent the love I found for myself within myself. An ambitious project for a beginner, but with patience and a supportive mentor, anything is possible. Thank you, dear Melinda, for sharing this. Let's zoom in, shall we? Look at all the detail. I'll be hiding behind it. There we see those red centers, and wow, so much detail going on with different textures and colors. I can certainly see the symbolism of courthouse steps. I love that. Oh, I wonder how many different kinds of textiles were used. If I remember correctly, there's a dog hiding somewhere in this picture. Just have to find it. Oh, there's a moon. I'll put the moon in the center. See if you can see that starry sky. There's the dog. Just above me. There's a puppy. I love that. I don't think that I even told Melinda that I would be sharing this today, so it's a good timing that you're here. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, dear Melinda. You are an inspiration to quilters worldwide. And with that, I invite others to fill out the same form so they may share something that means something to them as well. But yeah, how much work was in that? I imagine a lot. You said it's your first quilt, and yet so much detail. I bet it took a lot of patience. It's wonderful. It's true, Greyguard-G, an inspiration to more than just quilters. If you think about it, everything is kind of like a quilt. So grateful I get to share that. Thank you, Annika's World, as well, for your flowers. Now, I know I hadn't thanked you for this yet. Om Kring Kalikai Namaha. And dear Peter, thank you for your rose as well. I love that sentiment you shared, Gregarji. Just seeing you guys doing such amazing things gives me hope. I love that. And create the love. You're wondering, what's on my head? I call it my yam dana. As you can see, there's a yam here. It's full of cats. It's like a bandana I designed. Thank you, Jay, for the heart me I saw. Perfect timing. Hare Krishna. Alright, I wanted to end with a meditation. I'll be right back. I just need to grab some mala beads that are in theme with our meditation tonight. Many of you already know that today is the birthday of a form of the divine that's very common in and around Bharat, the Indian subcontinent. That is Sri Krishna. Today is known as Krishna Janmashtami, the birthday celebrations of Krishna, or the appearance celebrations. Krishna is a very famous form of the divine in the East. He is the singer of the Bhagavad Gita. He is what makes the Bhagavad Gita Bhagavad, divine. He is Bhagavan, the personal form of the divine, which shares the sublime knowledge of yoga to dear Arjuna. As I was mentioning before, when I was really anxious, spontaneously I started chanting. I was journaling during my period of intense anxiety about a year ago, almost to this day. And when I read back in that journal, every time I was anxious and I chanted, this would help me through those difficult moments. So I used this very mala, which is made of tulasi wood. Tulasi herself is revered as a deity and a devotee of Krishna, and her wood, her stem, her roots are used to create malas for the recitation of mantras. And like a mala, it has 108 beads on it. And so we'll start at the Guru bead and make our way all the way around. What was the mantra that I chanted to get me out of anxiety? Well, it was none other than the Maha Mantra, as is stated in the Taittiriya Upanishad. I believe it was the great Devarshi, the seer of the Devas, Narada, who approached the Creator Lord Brahma and asked, in the coming age of Kali, of darkness, by what means can we cross the ocean of Maya or Samsara? Lord Brahma says, there is no other means like chanting the 16 names of Lord Narayana. Doing so, you can be liberated from the cycles of all suffering. What are those 16 names? Well, I'll just start and you can follow along. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Om. Time for round 2. Just kidding. Happy birthday, dear Krishna. Happy Krishna Janmashtami, everyone. Thank you for listening or chanting along. I imagine a very rare and exceptional group of people probably stayed or chanted for that whole thing, and for you who did that, salutations to you. Namaste. By the way, Hare is the invocative, the vocative form of Hari, who is the one that steals the hearts of all Paramahansas, all great sages. Rama is the one in whom all Paramahansas dwell, and Krishna is the one whom forcibly attracts the minds of all Paramahansas. So bringing these sentiments to mind while we chant this Maha Mantra, we find ourselves having our heart being taken away by the ultimate. We find ourselves taking refuge in that, and we find our mind forcibly attracted. It's said very clearly by Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita that the means to attain Krishna is Krishna himself. That chanting his name is not merely a way to Krishna. He is the way himself. So with that, I thank you. And we will be wrapping up our Sangha for today. There are those of you who sent gifts while we were chanting, so thank you for providing me the opportunity to chant while you wait for me to get back to you now with a reflection of my gratitude in return. Dear Wake Up and Twinkle, thank you for your heart, me, and 18 roses. Radhe Radhe. Eyes Hara, thank you for your music play. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dear Crystal J, thank you for your rose too. Om Namah Shakti Shivaya. Thank you, Catherine, the wise old owl, for your pair of friendship necklaces too. Hare Krishna. And J Victor, thank you for your subscription. Happy to have you here, my friend, for your rose and your trio of team bracelets. Jai Sitaram. I did see your username pop up in the comments. You were wondering, was it you who was wondering how we could find that text, the Bhagavad Gita? It was you, Jay. I just found the comment again. You can find it in many places. There are many translations, many different commentaries. I think this is the best entry into the Bhagavad Gita, the one by Hari Chetan. You know, Hari, as we just described, is an epithet for Krishna. So being named after Krishna, it was his destiny. But I have admiration for other commentaries too. Anyway, you can find it free online for Krishna. So being named after Krishna, it was his destiny. But I have admiration for other commentaries too. Anyway, you can find it free online. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I think my internet disconnected me for a second, but I trust that I am back now. I was going to thank dear Hare, whom is also named after Krishna, for the fire, the hand hearts, the manifesting, the flowers, the manifesting again, and the quintet of fires. Thank you. Hari Om Tat Sat. And dear Jay, thank you for your additional trio of fires. Om Shri Hanumate Namah. And the Mermander, thank you for your trio of cheer you ups also. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Good night, dear Donsuela. Thanks for sticking around. May you have a wonderful sleep. Zadina Turain, thank you for your finger heart too. There's one for you. Hariom Tatsat. You know, holding up a mala is a good workout. Didn't realize till I put my arm back down that everything feels so heavy. Hybrid Jen, thank you for your trio of disco loves too. Hare Krishna. Alright, my friends and family from around the world, let us say good night or good afternoon, good evening, good morning. The recording of this live will be uploaded to my Yamsox Lives YouTube channel. You can find that in the link tree in my bio. No ads. I think the worst thing about YouTube, when you really want to watch something, it has ads. No ads. Other than this ad, I guess, directing you there. And in the description, I've written a program that chapters the whole live down to the minute, so you can click on any moment you ever wanted to get insight from. Addition to that, there are the snippets that I get, like our readings and our meditations. I take those and I upload them separately to individual playlists in case you wanted to do a meditation or catch up on the books that we've been reading. All there for you. And I just finished editing and rendering the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita on my ASMR channel, my Whispered series. The 12th chapter is about Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion. That's free for you there as well, in case you want to listen to that. I'll upload it tonight along with all of the recordings I just mentioned with this live. Those are all my advertisements. Thank you, Lady Blue Eyes, for your half a dozen fires. Hare Krishna. And Zadina Turen, thank you for your quintet of roses too. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hello and goodbye, everyone. May this live stream be an offering to Krishna, as it's his birthday today, as he presides as the Antaryami, the innermost dweller within you as well. Gabriella, you were rushing your likes to get me to 40,000. Well, on my screen we reached it, so good timing. Good night, everyone. Thank you, dear D Shady Light, for your manifesting too. Ram Ram. May you all have a wonderful rest of your present moment. Namaste.